around again. You want a dose of this, right? Now it's KD8. I'm a goddess with a blaze. 소리처럼 내 이름 믿지 못하게 loud, 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 loud. I could take you to the top. 절대 멈추지 못해. 내가 끝내주는 bad gal, gal, gal. And when I started talk that, oh, you know how to react. I'm a picture perfect face with that wild in my veins. You can hear it in my growl, 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 growl. So keep your eyes on me now. 무엇을 보든 좋아할 거야. 다 할 수 없는 래퍼. 나와 되길 원한 늘 확신해. We got it all in our hands now. So can you handle what we're all about? What's so tough? Let's get it, show you out. Can you feel the rush now? Ain't nobody bringing us down, 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 down. They could try, but we gonna wear the crown. You could go another round, 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 round. Wish you luck, but you're not bringing us down. We go hard, till we get it, we go hard. We so in it, we pop stars. Only winning, winning now. Ain't nobody bringing us down, 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 down. You ready for this?
Let's go.
See, 언제든지 내 모습 매직 단 한 번에 내가 잡아 절대 기죽지 않지. 펴펴 네가 뭘 알아. 견딜 수 없어 원해도 원하는 게 얼굴에 보여. I'm troubling you running it, I'm so cold. When I move that way you gon' be so blown. I'm the realest in the game. Said I'm on fire with the blade. You're about to hear my name ringing in your head like whoa. So keep your eyes on me now. 무엇을 보든 좋아할 거야. I'm so tough. Let's get it, show you out. Can you feel the rush now? Ain't nobody bringing us down, 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 down. They could try, but we gonna wear the crown. You could go another round, 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 round. Wish you luck, but you're not bringing us down. We go hard, till we get it, we go hard. We so in it, we pop stars. Only winning, winning now. Ain't nobody bringing us down, 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 down. 난 멈추지 않아. Oh, we go hard. Oh, we pop stars, stars. Ain't nobody bringing us down, 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 down. They could try, but we gonna wear the crown. You could go another round, 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 round. Wish you luck, but you're not bringing us down. We go hard, till we get it, we go hard. We so in it, we pop stars. Only winning, winning now. Ain't nobody bringing us down, 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 down.
Welcome to the wild, no heroes and villains. Welcome to the war, we've only begun. So pick up your weapon and face it. There's blood on the ground, go and take it. You get one shot to make it out alive. So higher and higher you chase it. It's deep in your bones, go and take it. This is your moment. Now is your time, so prove yourself. then rise, rise. Make them remember you. Push to the end. Rise, rise. They will remember you. Prove yourself and rise, rise. Pick up your weapon and face it.
Do we fight to hold our heads up high and beat the drum to what we love? Risk the fall, oh, we have felt it all come crashing down from far above. Stars are rising, countless worlds colliding, only one will take it all. Can we bring to fall the giants? Can we make the final call? We are the ones to ignite the darkened skies, the champions of a world that we defy. A solar ray of the few who rise up high, and we all fight at the last strike. Hearing voices from afar, join the madness when the curtain falls. Risk it all, hold nothing back. Seize the day, we must attack. Stars are rising, countless worlds colliding, only one will take it all. Can we bring to fall the giants? Can we make the final call? We are the ones to ignite the darkened skies, the champions of a world that we defy. A solar ray of the few who rise up high, and we all fight at the last strike. Can we bring to fall the giants? 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 We Legends never die when the world is calling you. Can you hear them screaming out your name? Legends never die, they become a part of you. Every time you bleed for reaching greatness, relentless, you survive. They never lose hope when everything's cold and the fighting's near. It's deep in their bones, they'll ride into smoke when the fire is fierce. Oh, pick yourself up, 'cause legends never die when the world is calling you. Can you hear them screaming out your name? Legends never die, they become a part of you. Every time you bleed for reaching greatness, legends never die. They're written down in eternity, but you'll never see the price it costs. The scars collected all their lives. When everything's lost, they pick up their hearts and avenge defeat. Before it all starts, they suffer through harm just to tell us a dream. Oh, pick yourself up, 'cause legends never die when the world
Tell me where do I go? Tell me where do I take us? Your heart is starting to slow. May the water be safe. As I dive in, blood stains washing underneath the waves. I'll be reaching out
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to some meat cereal action as we get ready for Division 1 Esports Harte take on Serenity Gaming Hydra in what's been a bit of a delay before we can get underway here, Meat Squeeze, but I'm sure that the delay will be worthwhile as we have two big teams that are coming head-to-head here.
Yes, we sure are, and not only are the two big teams, they also have a lot on the line because both of these teams can claim 5th place in the SRG standing, where we have Esports Harte being 7th at the moment and SRG Hydra 8th, and with just 2 wins, they'll be in 5th. And I'm sure both of them will be looking to claim their spot.
And we're getting questions instantly, mainly by our producer. I don't think anyone else is asking this, but I think we have to, put it in cement now. We have to confirm our marriage here. Are we meat cereal or are we milky squeeze? We can't leave doubts in our viewers' minds.
Well, to me, meat cereal definitely sounds
Yeah.
a lot better, not gonna lie.
Like, if something's milky, would you squeeze it? Like, no, but if,
No,
like, a
you
meat
can't,
cereal,
you
that's...
can't really squeeze something milky, right? It would just, it's like water.
Yeah. Exactly. Easy. Anyway, so this game, Esports Harte against Hydra. Hydra, 1 win, 2 defeats in the Serenity Gaming Division 1 Springsplit. Esports Harte, 2 wins, 2 losses, 4 game wins, 4 game losses. So they are bang on in the middle of the pack. But one of the things that we mentioned the last time we were able to cast on Esports Harte was the fact that Starkos was playing in that support role, filling, and we saw him play fairly okay. He was playing Leona, he missed a few things, but overall
Mostly
it was
his
alright.
E.
Wait, what?
Mostly his E, what he missed.
Oh yes, he was playing Nautilus and he completely messed up a dredge line. Now I remember. But now Starkos is playing back in the top lane. He can play that Leona top lane. He can play the Ornn, the Kled as well. And my biggest concern here for Hydra is when you look at Esports Harte, I can see any member of Esports Harte coming out on top and carrying the team forward. When I look at Hydra, Gunkus Maximus, he has a big question mark for me. I don't know if he can stand up for his team, carry his team forward. Chang, it feels like if he doesn't get his champions, he's in the same boat. So I want to see Wildstars being, this carry for Hydra and probably looking mainly towards the bot lane as we do enter picks and bans.
Yeah, we do end the picks and ban. Most likely we're going to still see Ornn ban on the red side, although I'm not really sure about that after his nerfs in patch 10.5. As
Yeah,
we
and
see Cassio being banned as first ban.
And the Cassiopeia is a strong pick right now, and it is one of Chang's preferred champions. I'm expecting the Zillion ban to come out as well from the side of Hydra, as it is a Tricus is one trick by a massive margin. Does that get taken away from Wildstars, as the Ornn has to be banned at some point? Starkos plays it, and if someone plays Ornn, just get rid of it. The Echo, the final ban for Esports Harte and Hydra, they do play that Echo both by Wildstars and Chang, so that's a good flex pick ban coming through.
Well, I guess they've been listening to you as they banned 2 of the main junglers from Wildstar right here straight away. As last ban will be Zillion most likely. Otherwise, I'm definitely expecting it being first picked.
Yeah, I'm expecting this Zillion to get banned out. No, it's going to be the Leona. So taking that away from Dalgas and potentially Starkos as well. The question is, though, does Tricos want to play Zillion as a blind pick? First, they will pick up the set for themselves. And that's something that Monkholm has played a little bit in the jungle. Doesn't have the best of win rates on that champion in solo queue. But the set could be going top lane. Could maybe get flex mid depending on what Chang wants to
And
pull
support,
out.
it was being played support as well, I believe in LCS yesterday. I
Who
believe
played
it
it
to
in
be quite
LCS?
strong. Who he? I'm saying that who
Okay.
he? Yeah. As we see, Aphelios is definitely one of the meta picks 80 carries at the moment.
Oh, wow.
Paired up with Nautilus, which is just a very strong bot lane.
See, I came into this meat squeeze thinking I'm not going to flame teams, and now there was a perfect opportunity for Aphelios Braum, and they've gone with Aphelios Nautilus. I like the Aphelios pick. It's Block's best ADC, so I'm glad they picked that up, but I would have liked the Braum to go with it. And the MF
Yeah, I
Braum
wanted
gets
to
picked
point
up
it
now
out.
by Harte.
I think the Fear Realm is a lot safer lane as well, and just better in terms of scaling.
Yeah,
Now,
precisely so.
and now you have Misfortune, and they pick Braum with it, and that's also quite a strong lane there for themselves.
Yeah,
As
big
they
team
choose,
fights. Sorry.
oh, you can continue.
I was going to say big team fights coming in for both sides here. Aphelios Nautilus J4, the set MF Braum. And if the Zillion doesn't get banned out here, that's going to be, I feel, somewhat int by the side of Hydra. You need to take that comfort pick away from Tricos. And that set is still the flex pick for the side of Esports Harte. To be honest, I think it is going to be going into the top lane, and I'm expecting to see Moncholm actually probably on something like the Elise or Carthers, bring out a bit of AP, and then it gives a bit more flexibility for what Tricos might want to play in the mid lane.
Oh, maybe SRG Hydra is baiting out the Zillion pick, and they prepared something against it. Who knows?
Mm,
Although I myself would definitely ban the Zillion, even if you have a counter pick as Derogator.
there we go.
I mean, when
Makes
someone one tricks, he just knows how to play the champion through and through.
yeah.
As
The
you see,
Darius and
Darius,
Mordekaiser
yeah.
taken away from Gunkus. Surprised we didn't actually see any bans towards the mid lane. I would have liked to see Chang's Pike potentially being banned. He has got a decent, win rate with that. The Oriana gets picked up for Chang in that mid lane. Oriana J4, very strong wombo combo. And well, the blind pick will be in the top lane for Gunkus Maximus and SRG Hydra and Esports Harte. What do they want to take in these solo lanes?
So you said if Chang isn't on one of his comfort picks, he might be struggling performing.
Yes.
And is this Oriana one of his comfort picks? You have to ask.
I do not believe so. It's not here in my notes, but that being said, Oriana is a safe pick. And this is kind of the difference between solo queue and team play. I mean, sure, it might not be a champion that Chang likes to play in solo queue, but in a team environment, if he can play it safe, he can make it work. Unlike his other picks that he plays a lot of the Katarina, the Yasuo, the Pike. Um, so I think this can work out well for Chang, especially with such a strong team fight composition that Hydra have built here. But Esports Harte, they are locking the Syndra. That's going to have a phenomenal pushing power into the Oriana. And the Poppy locked in. That's going top. So it is going to be set
Well, it could be
jungle.
Poppy jungle as well.
Oh, that's
It
true,
used to
actually.
be quite meta actually a few months. I mean,
Yeah.
it had a time where it shined in the jungle.
Yeah, and I should be aware of that considering I have a friend whose name is literally OTP Poppy. And he plays Poppy top mainly, but he also pulls it out jungle and support. So,
I mean, if they're OTP, you put it out everywhere, don't you?
oh yeah, that's true. But he wouldn't play Poppy ADC. He's not that crazy. Unlike a Zac one trick I know who will literally play Zac anywhere. And he wins with it anywhere as well. But it is looking like it's Poppy Jungle. Also, let's give a round of applause to Riot, who have changed the spectator mode so that you can now no longer see the summoner spells. No, I'm not being sarcastic. That's actually fantastic because it means that the enemy team can't spy during champ select to see what those summoners are going to be. So we're going to have to wait for the loading screen to be able to confirm that. But Meat Squeeze, looking at these two comps, who are you siding with?
You put it obviously on the side of SG Hydra. They draft a nice wombo combo. Oriana, Charver, and the Phidias. They have very nice ultimate synergy, and they also got a big potential with the Nautilus to go. They can get a nice flank off with the Aatrox.
Yep.
But on the other side, the Poppy and then Brown, they're both very strong in disengaging.
Yeah.
And
And I do have to agree because you've got the Poppy, you've got the Syndra, you've got the Braum as well. You've got a lot of ways of getting out of this. But at the end of the day, when that Cataclysm drops on you with a Shockwave, it all comes down so quickly. I do prefer the comp from the side of Hydra. I just think it's that little bit easier to execute And they've just got that little bit of extra scaling on their side as well, just in case things do go wrong in that early game. The Aphelios and the Oriana will become very strong as we get later into the game. Some interesting stats to put out. Esports Harte, whenever they've won, it's been a 2-0. Whenever they've lost, it's been 0-2. Hydra, on the other hand, every single one of their games have gone to a third game, and they've played 3 games so far. The split, Esports Harte, they have played 4 games so far, or 4 series, I should say this. So interesting to see, because one of those stats are going to be ending tonight.
Milky the Statman.
Oh yeah, I think I should officially change my name to Milky the Stats Man. Actually, no. Milky the Stats God cereal.
The stats god even. But all
No,
your
like,
stats are like, well, it ends right here, or it doesn't.
see, my stats are the kind of thing that I'm in mid game, and I just realize stats just so fast, and it's amazing. I mean, even if I do say so myself, I like to think of myself as being an extremely humble person, but it's exceptionally phenomenal just how good I am at working out stats on the spot. So I will try to keep everyone informed with stats throughout the game. Don't worry, I'll come in when you've got a nice point meat squeeze, and I'll come in and be like, Meat Squeeze, are you ready for one of Milky Cereal's interesting godlike stats? And there we go. I mean, if you want, you can throw it onto me at some random points in the game. Milky, you are the god at stats. Let's find out if that's true. What stats do you have for us so far? And I'll panic and
Alright.
go through my notes looking for something. But we are approaching the end of the spectator delay, so we can make our way in for game 1 now. What I want to look at, though, is this jungle matchup, because Moncomb on the Poppy is not, your standard jungler. It's not something with insane gank potential. The Jarvan, on the other hand, flag and drag, very easy to execute. Where do we see both junglers looking to focus their attention, or, are we actually just going to see them looking for more of that power farm route?
I think they're gonna look around the mid lane.
Okay.
You have
Around
Jarvan,
the mid lane.
Oriana. That's just the OG 2v2 jungle mid combo, if you know what I mean.
Yep.
Well,
See
not
that.
just Syndra, Poppy. I guess they're just strong. Poppy does counter Jarvan quite a bit with her W if she times it in time. And we also see Syndra choosing to get Ignite, where you have Mr. Chang with TP.
Yeah, and I do like this from Chang. It just means that he can play this a little bit safer. But I'm gonna go with the other kind of route. I think Wildstars is going to be looking primarily to the top side of the map. I think he wants to make sure that Gunkus can get ahead against this set, because that Aatrox can be so powerful in the mid game. I mean, block and give me second blue. If Kain oversteps, sure, they can look to go in. But I think Wildstars is going to be focusing on the top side of the map, whereas Moncomb, either he looks to try to counter these ganks, or he waits for Trickles to shove in Chang, and then they can rotate as a 2 and look to try to get Kain up ahead in the early game.
Well, for either way, they're gonna need some deep vision in the enemy jungle. So that will be
always.
their main priority at the start of this game. As I'm quite sure for you, but I'm already 50 seconds in game, and I see the stream is just being loaded in.
Wait, what's being loaded in?
The stream just came in. Oh well.
Oh, well, I think we're at pretty much the same time. Both teams just going to fan out for now. And then both junglers will be looking to start on their red buffs, which means that Wildstars can look for that gank top lane out around the level 3 point, or maybe just look for the straight up gank level 2 bot, whereas Moncomb will eventually be looking towards that bottom side of the map for his gank.
Yeah, and you see Poppy choosing to go for a peelless start, and she starts some wolves pathing down towards a red buff, and I'm curious how that's gonna work out for her.
Yeah, but it's just going to be tradings coming through across the map. Nothing too substantial as Gunkus Maximus finds some damage with the Darkened Blade. The Haymaker, though, turns the trade around into Starkos' favor. And if you remember to what we were talking about before we came into game, we were live, we were talking about this question mark for Hydra, Gunkus Maximus, how he could perform, because for me, he's the most inconsistent member of Hydra. And if he can have a good game, I think that's fantastic for Hydra. But if he has a bad game, he could really weigh down the side of Hydra, especially with a pick like Aatrox.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the more inconsistent players, I guess you could say. There's some aggressive trading coming out from his side on the top lane.
And as we expected, Wildstars looking towards that top side of the map. He's on his Krugs. He did have a little look, but decided against it. And has to be careful because there's a nicely placed ward by Starkos in the river.
And I found this pathing from Munkum very interesting, as he seems to skip his red buff and now gives the blue buff over to Tricos. And
I mean, an early blue buff is not the worst for Tricos, I guess. Did he start on
he
Raptors
started on
then?
Wolves. No, he started on
Oh,
Wolves, went to Raptors, ran to Columns, and then all the way back to blue buff to give it away.
Okay, but top lane, gank coming in, Infernal Chain, Starkos with the flash. Here comes Monkob, and he'll stop the dash with the Poppy W, and that was a very nice steadfast presence from Monkob. But this is exactly what we wanted to see from Gunkus Maximus, looking aggressive early game, finding that advantage. Look at the CS difference in the top lane, 3 times the CS for Gunkus Maximus on that Aatrox. That is a nice to say the least.
Yeah, he's playing very aggressive, and he did get early gank from Wildstar, I believe. At least it was low of pressure, and he's putting a hell of a lot of pressure. But I'm not sure about this, but I believe Aatrox is a bit of a counter for Set, isn't he?
I think Aatrox is just good early game, and Set isn't that strong. But I don't know on the matchup itself. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, just some farming coming through, and Kain and Dalgas have been doing a good job of establishing a nice, healthy CS lead. In fact, the CS lead in the bot lane for Esport Harte kind of outweighs the advantage that Gunkus Maximus has in the top lane for Hydra.
Yeah, as you can see it in the very small gold lead, Esports Harte.
Oh, we talked about the two-man roamer coming up. Can they find the scatter of the week? The flash comes out, and they will find the scatter, and the unleash power picks up the kill. Tricos with the first blood for Esports Harte.
Yeah, Milky, I feel like you're a bit 5 seconds ahead of time. But
you might need to speed up a bit with the plus button to catch up. But we talked about this as well. Like we said, Tricos into Chang, he's just going to push out the lanes, and we're going to be seeing those two-man rotations. At first, I thought it was going to be towards the bot side of the map, but Gunkus, playing very aggressively, just falls foul. And here we go in the mid lane. We look for Tricos. Flag and drag into the shockwave. It's going to be a 1-for-1 as Wildstars gets taken down.
yeah, that's unfortunate for Wildstar there. Otherwise, it would have been a very nice response for the top lane gank. Esports Harte pull off previously. Although SRG Harte, they did manage to get the first drake of the game. Almost right on spawning time, which would be nice for them. If they can keep it up, they'll have some nice pressure. There's some trading going on top lane.
Yeah. And would you like to know an interesting stat? Starkos has now missed 5 haymakers in lane. See?
Oh,
There's a reason I'm called the stats man. Yeah, 5 haymakers, and That last one coming in there, and he's just been on the back foot into Gunker's Maximus. Maybe when he can get some items through, perhaps he can dish out some damage as the Facebreaker pulls Gunker's under turret, and he takes a turret shot as well. Also, can we just mention Starkos is going for potentially the Doran's Trinity. He's picked up the shield and the blade. just get the Doran's ring as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure how many AP scaling a set has though.
I'm not sure. I've never actually played Set. He probably has nothing.
Well, Milky, can you give me one of these interesting facts about AP scaling on set?
He has a none. Oh, the steadfast presence. Not quite there for Moncom. He flashes forward, but Gunkus is just outside of that wall, and he's able to umbral dash over the rift pit.
Yeah, and with that very slow start from Moncom, is actually keeping up in experience with Wildstar, and this is very interesting to me.
And in the bot lane, a nice 20 CS advantage for Kine, yet to be able to pick up a kill, but I'm sure Kine will just be happy to out CS a block and be able to pick up that Essence Reaver crucially a little bit early, and that'll give the side of Esports Harte so much more control around future Drakes and the Rift Herald, which has now spawned. First Drake of the game did go over to the side of Hydra, and it was the Ocean Drake.
Yeah, definitely this ball, and as long as Kine doesn't get grabbed by the Nautilus hook, this lane is favorable for him, and he just has a little better scaling this early game.
Here we go. Wildstars was on a ward. Flag and Drag will land onto Starkos, who finds a haymaker. He's running for the hills, but he will not be able to get away in time. Gunkus picks up the kill, and Starkos, he had a ward. He saw Wildstars, but he just disrespected the gank.
And maybe he thought he could get out with his suplex, you know.
Yeah, maybe he
but
thought
that's
he could,
definitely gonna make his lane a lot harder right now.
Yeah, and look how much CS he's going to be missing out on. Starkos has to walk up to catch this, and he's missed out on a whole chunk. And he might not even be able to pick up a single one of those minions, which means Gunkus is just going to be a whopping 30 CS ahead, pretty much.
Yeah, he's almost built up a 1k gold lead in the top lane over Starkers at the moment.
But then again, we look towards the bottom lane, 40 CS advantage for Kine, although the wave has just shoved in onto block, so we'll be able to reduce that deficit by a little bit. But I do want to see now Kine and Dalgas making their way up topside to be able to get this first Rift Herald of the game, although that might not even be needed because Molcomb is already on the Rift and is starting that up and should be able to secure it any second now.
Yeah, Gunkus was a bit late on his reset, same as Wildstar, and Esports Harte recognized that they were off the map and they took the opportunity, and that's basically a free Herald.
Yeah.
Now
Gold
the next question
perfectly
is...
even, and so is the kills as well, but it's all about where that gold is. And for the side of Hydra, it's on Gunkus Maximus, and for the side of Esports Harte, it is on Kine and Trikos.
Yeah, it still doesn't say anything on how this game is gonna pull out, because we all seen the Aatrox just massacre the entire...
Scatter of the weak, Dog Spear, and there's the Unleashed Power. Chang will survive by the skin of his teeth, and the Protect coming in pretty big. But Moncomb is here, and they could look for the 2v2. Chang forced to run dissonance, giving the movement speed. Dalgas on the way. Wildstars will use a flag and drag to safety, but Chang gonna miss out on a couple of CS under his turret. And now the second Drake of the game are looking to go the way of Esports Harte.
It's going to be very unfortunate for SG Hydra, as this is just going to delay the soul pressure a little bit longer.
And that Drake now picked up by the side of Harte. It's a mountain soul, and that is going to be big if you are the side of Esports Harte. Moncomb, Starkos, and Dalgas getting, you know, those extra defenses, getting that big shield is going to be huge for them. Oh,
yes, that would be a little harder. for the side of Hydra to win these front-to-back team fights.
Now, Starkos has a Ninja Tabby. So does Gunkus Maximus, but he also has a Caulfield Warhammer and a longsword. Starkos is so far behind in this top lane. It's heartbreaking to witness. In the mid lane, actually, Chang has picked up that Luden's Echo, whereas Trikos, surely he has the goal for it. Yeah, he does have the goal for it, so he will be completing that Luden's anytime soon. Also,
Yeah, he's just waiting for a
interesting.
nice. Yeah, give me the interesting fact.
It's not an interesting fact. It's just something interesting I wanted to point out. Courtesy of a certain Nicholas who tried to explain this one to me. I was actually just hold that thought for a second, and there's the damage from the Ludens from Chang. But Trikos are actually going for the Darkseer, which is an interesting pickup. He hasn't got any stacks on it. He picked that up beforehand. It does kind of make sense. Actually, hang on. What am I talking about? Trikos went for the Darkseer and refillable potion over the Doran's ring and the pot. So there's your interesting factory. Trikos not taking standard starting items.
Well, I feel like in the mid lane you can be quite flexible, as not only did he have enough for Ludens, he just also got a Sork shoot straight away.
Yeah. I was about to say I think he should just go Morello. You know, Aatrox healing, Ophelia's healing. You know, it's worth it. Just do it. But I doubt it. Oh, Starkos flashes on the spot. What is going on? Starkos question mark Pink?
I feel he tried to flash out of the chains, but he just
Flashed
missed
on
it.
the spot.
No, he flashed, but then got pulled back instantly by the change.
Ah, okay. Moncom on his way up, but Gunkus just backing off that little bit. Wildstars is here, so from a 1v1 to a 2v1 and now a 2v2. Who will spot out who? Moncom will spot out Wildstars. Wildstars unaware of that just yet, and Luku's coming to join the fight. It is Mr. Trikos himself, the 2-1 Syndra, who, to be fair, is probably gonna build the Leandry's Torment. It seems to be, you know, pretty much a mid laner's favorite item as of late. Maybe he'll just go for the straight up Rabadons or something like that.
The straight up Rabadons, I like it. There's a lot of burst power on this Syndra already, and with Rabadons, it's gonna be even more. And you have a few of these squishy targets like the Aphelios here, and well, mainly the Aphelios, but he's also the main damage.
Yeah, and kind of freezing the wave. As the Essence Reaver is picked up by Block, but he's still a little bit behind on Kind, who has the Berserker's Greaves as well.
Yeah, that's actually a nasty freeze right there.
Is this the chase coming in? The face breaker into the heroic charge. Now the run, and that's going to be the ult just knocking Gunkus away.
Yeah, I definitely feel like Esport Harte should try to make these base around the bot side of the map where they're a lot stronger. As Gunkus Maximus, I feel like he can 2v1 already.
Yeah. He doesn't have that black cleaver yet. Once that's in, then I'd have to agree with you, but still waiting for the first item from both top laners. Wildstars are looking towards the top lane as well. It is a 2v1 as Moncom just backed himself, but the engage coming through in the bottom lane. Glacial Fissure lands onto the root, onto Dalgas, who runs as the dredge line does not find its mark, and the TP is cancelled by Starkos. But another dredge line comes in. There's the damage to the shockwave on top. And Kain can run, but will he survive? No, he won't. But Trikos coming in from behind. Heroic Charge will not find his mark. Chan, can he find the damage? Oh, Scatter of the weaker lands. And there is the post-mortem kill that Trikos is able to do on that Syndra pick. It is a 3-for-2 so far, but Moncom will want to even this out. The Zhonya's comes through. There's the shield. And Wildstars is here to save the day. Flag and drag into Cataclysm. Can Moncom get out? Flashes. And Give Me Second Blue picks up the kill. 4 kills for 2 in favor of Hydra.
And just as I said it, they move all the men on towards the bot lane and try to make a play. Unfortunately for them, I believe it didn't work out. Was slightly in favor of Hydra right here, and that is
Suplex
currently
comes through
good
in the
score.
top lane. Gunkus Maximus with the World Ender. He's just gonna beat down onto Starkos and picks up the kill with a Darken Blade. Another kill going over the way of Hydra. And now there's a big Aatrox in the top lane. There's a big Orianna in the mid lane. And all of a sudden, Kain is no longer ahead in the bottom lane.
Yeah, but why did Stargaz take that fight on top lane?
I don't know. You're the color caster, not me.
I'm the color guys. You're behind in lane. You've been losing every trade so far, and you choose to fight. I don't.
There we go. Great pickup by Hydra. Fantastic rotation to the bottom side. And Dalgas and Kain just a little bit too aggressive, overestimating their damage now. Chang, he's getting hunted down. The concussive blows coming through into the Glacial Fissure. Good shockwave to buy time, but the Keeper's verdict. Oh, pardon me, the Steadfast Present denies a Gimme Second Blue from getting in, and the Keeper's verdict knocks block out now. Wildstar's taking a lot of damage. Bullet time. Oh, Wildstar's forced to burn the Zhonya's, or the stopwatch, I should say, on the edge of that range. And now this is going to be Esports Harte looking to pick up their second Drake of the game. And we talked about how good those Mountain Drakes are for them.
Yeah, and I want to point out the ulti from Moncomb right there to get out, block out of the fight was so nice and very clean done from them.
Yeah, and 2 more kills are going the way of Esports Harte. That second Drake as well going to be pretty big for them. The Oblivion Orb picked up by Tricos makes complete sense. Scatter of the Week onto Gunkus, but there's a fair bit of tenacity on this Aatrox, and now he's just going to look to slap up the Major. Finds a fair bit of damage, needs one more, auto flashes forward, but gets grounded. Will be able to find the kill, or actually, I should say, Wildstar finds the kill, and now looks towards a Moncomb. Darken Blade coming through, Concussive Blades kind of gets proc, Flag and Drag coming in, Moncomb gets up, but gets taken down regardless, and now the focus onto Kain. One more auto, Gunkus picks that one up, and that is Hydra coming out completely on top with 3 kills for nothing.
Yeah, you can see just how big this Aatrox is actually. He starts to join with his team and they instantly get a free triple kill. Well,
First turret of the game has already been picked up by Hydra in the top lane, and they're going to look to pick up a second turret here in the bottom lane. All the turrets from Hydra themselves are all pretty low, and it will be a trade of top 4 bottom lane outer turrets. Also, I think our producer might just switch off the stream now. Tricos has completed the Morello as his second item, over going for the likes of the Rabadon's Death Cap or a Leandri's Torment.
well, being with this Aatrox being as huge as he is, I can understand it that you want this healing reduction against him. If it was less of a threat, it would have been more troll, but I can see why he chose to get it straight away, as it also makes him a bit more tanky.
Well, the Leandris has been completed by Changas. Moncomb looking quite aggressive on to give me second blue. Drudgeline will take him out though. And the focus now from Esports Harte onto the outer turret in the mid lane will get picked up, and now it's a 2 turrets for 2.
Yeah, they just choose to group as 5. Although I do think SRG Hydra has the better 5v5.
Yeah. And we
So,
talked about that in the
yeah.
drafting phase as well, you know, who do we fancy? And I mean, for me, I preferred Hydra's draft personally. Their team fight seems that little bit easier to execute, but you know, if Tricos can find a really good scatter of the week, and that can go into something like the Keeper's Verdict, all of a sudden so much damage is going to be coming out from the bullet time.
Yeah, and I wanted to point out the Esports Hard has very nice vision control, but it just got cleared out all the way. They still have a nice control around the river towards the bottom side.
And I do think we're getting to that point where Chang is going to start becoming that little bit bigger than Tricos, just because Tricos is not that far ahead. They're both sitting on 2 items and tier 2 boots. And I think when we do get those fights, Chang is just going to be able to deal so much more damage. Umbral Dash from Gunkus Maximus, but he's getting chased down by all of our Hydra. And so much damage, so much CC. Trikos will turn up. Scatter of the Week, the shutdown goes over onto Moncomb as a fair bit of damage. Wildstars gets taken down, courtesy of a fantastic bullet time. And Kind with a solo kill in a 1v3.
Yeah, you could see Wallstar just gave up, I think. Just press the S button and accept your death.
The stone plate also used by Wildstars there, but even that wasn't enough to tank up the bullet time from Kine. And now Kine getting ever closer to that Infinity Edge. Block also deciding to go for the Infinity Edge over the Runan's Hurricane as his second item.
I personally really prefer the Rune's Hurricane over the Infinity Edge as second item. But I guess that's just me.
Potentially. Also, take a look at the CS difference in the top lane. It's still at 50, and that's pretty big for Gunkus. He has completed 2 items, has that death stance, and he's really at a strong point now in this Aatrox build.
Sorry. Yes, definitely, and you can see both teams trying to prepare for this
Gunkus.
next Drake.
Scatter of the Week doesn't land. As you mentioned, the next Drake is that mountain, and it is up and now. And the Hydra will be wanting to even up the Drake scoreline, as Harte will be wanting to set themselves up for the Mountain Soul. All members are on the bottom side of the map. Gunkus is in that mid lane, but can rotate down. Trikos just ready to zone Gunkus away. And Gunkus actually, he's going to take the long way to the bot side river.
Yeah, but he can get it. Oh, he's not choosing to take a flank position. Still just group up as 5 and Trikos, Esports Harte will have to concede this Drake because the 5v5 is definitely favorable for Hydra.
Keeper's verdict comes out. It is going to knock Wildstars away, and Moncomb picks up the steal. That is cleanly done by Esports Harte. Moncomb will flash over the wall, but Operation Kick the Jungler Away was a complete success.
Yes, well, I guess that's what Pop is good at. The enemy has good 5v5, well, you just knock away 1 or 2 people and it's no longer a 5v5 and you win it.
Now, Baron is the next objective, and, well, Hydra, they're looking to go straight for this, while Esports Harte might be getting caught out a little bit with their backtimers, and the Baron is going down pretty quickly, considering we're only 25 minutes in. Keeper's verdict not available for Moncomb right now, so Operation Kick the Jungler cannot work, but so much damage so quickly. Gunkus finds the kill onto Trikos. That's the main damage dealer down for Hydra. Dalgas takes a lot of damage. Dalgas gets taken down. Now Starkos getting focused. That's the kill for second blue. Chang flashes away but will fall. Kine picks up the kill whilst also locks down Kine with a Cataclysm but flashes out. And Moncomb will fall. 4 kills for 1 in a favor of Hydra. And they say, you can take that Mountain Drake, but we're going to take the Baron.
Yeah, and I really think this was a bait by SRG Hydra. Just forced this 5v5. Like, either
but
way
look
they
at
get
Kine.
out of that
He
stuff.
does have that bullet time available. It comes out too early. Gunkus goes on to Kine. He gets a lockdown with the Infernal Chains into the Dredge lane. And that is going to be the extended ace. Our Baron gets taken down. And Esports Harte on the back foot.
Yeah, it was definitely a win-win situation for SRG Hydra. They get the Baron or they get a nice 5v5 and they get a Baron afterwards. They recognize they're strong in the 5v5 and just hard force objective. As they should.
Yeah, and Gunkus now 7 and 2. The kills have been going exactly where they need to for Hydra. Keep Gunkus ahead. Keep him dishing out this damage because in 10 minutes time, it doesn't matter how fed Gunkus is, Starkos is going to deal more damage. So utilize this Aatrox as much as you can and then try to get, these kills onto Chang and Block once we get to that later stage of the game.
Well, Block has managed to pick up 7 assists, and he isn't that far behind from Keen here, as they're actually quite even in terms of
Oh,
gold.
Malcolm playing very aggressive. Keeper's verdict finds a knock-up into the Haymaker. Out comes the Glacial Fisher, but look at the TP coming in from behind. That's a big shockwave. That's Dalga's down. Tricos, the focus from Gunkers, as that's the Cataclysm finding a lot of damage, but Wildstars will be able to get out of range. The double kill for Chang, and 3 kills for nothing for Hydra. They have the Baron still, and they got to push through in the mid lane.
Yeah, it was very nice team TP, and yeah, I have to think Buncombe just went a bit too deep and a bit too greedy for give me second blue here.
That's going to be the first inhibitor turret of the game getting taken down before the 28-minute mark, and this game's just spiraled out of control since, you know, around that 25-minute mark. It looked like it was going the way of Esport Harte after they picked up that Mountain Drake, but Hydra did not let them, hang on. Hydra did not let that get to them, and they came back stronger, picking up the Baron, and now have a strong command over this game with almost a 10k goal lead.
So Milky, do you have any interesting fact?
Do I have any interesting facts? Yes, I do have a very interesting fact for you, Meat Squeeze. ADCs, also known as the attack damage carries, are usually the members from both their teams that carry the game by getting loads of kills and getting loads of items and dealing loads of damage. However, Block, the ADC for Hydra, is yet to pick up a kill in 29 minutes of the first game of the night.
He just got kill steal 10 times in a row. You have to think.
No, it might have been more than that because he might have got to the fight too late as well and no one waited for him to get the assist.
Maybe he was just taking farm inside a farm like every AD carry does.
Probably.
As we see SRG Hydra, he very smartly just grouping up, forcing Esport Harte out of their own jungle and get control over this Drake. This time I see the chances of Poppy stealing it a bit lower.
Yep. The TP a little bit late in from Starkos, and that second mountain going the way of Hydra. Gunker's looking aggressive, but he'll decide against going in, and he does have the Oriana ball on him, and this is really good ball delivery that Chang has around him. The Aatrox, the Jarvan, and the Nautilus as well. So many different ways to deliver the ball. And speaking of her delivery, Gunker's Maximus gets spots out. The Moonlight Vigil comes through. Stopwatch by some time. There's a Keeper's Verdict. Block is out of the fight. Now, Wildstars and Give Me Second Blue getting forced down as those concussive blows come through. Esports Harte find the only kill of the fight.
Well, I can tell you what went wrong there. Chang missing his shockwave.
I feel that Block needs to make sure that he's outside of the range of the Keeper Verdicts, because if he's not there, these fights are always going to go the way of Esports Harte.
Yeah, but this is the reason why they drafted Poppy, I believe, just to get Blocky out of these late game fights. And if he's out, most of the DPS from the side of SG Hydra is also out of the fight.
Yeah, and 18 kills to 10 now. That goal lead has shrunk a little bit back towards Esports Harte. And that inhibitor will be respawning in the near future. We do have another Baron up in just over a minute's time. And that's going to be the focus from both teams.
Yeah, and I believe SG Hydra will just start grouping up some more and gain control of the entire top side jungle of Esports Harte here, and maybe even look for a little trap.
Also, the Void Staff has been completed from Tricus, and now he looks towards that Rabadons. Once he gets the Rabadons, I think that's going to be a big power spike for Esports Harte, and maybe they can look to turn the fight around. Also, Kine hasn't actually picked up any Zeal items just yet. He's got the crit from the Infinity Edge and the Essence Reaver, but he hasn't gone for, you know, the Rapid Fire or Static or anything like that. He's gone for the Bloodthirster first, which I'm not sure if I'm personally a fan of, Meat Squeeze.
It can help you survive the Jarvan Oriana combo, that ball delivery. And in all honesty, he could have gotten the armor penetration as well. But I really feel like Rapid Fire Cannon or any Zeal item wouldn't give much extra benefits for Kane here. Keen.
Oh, flash forward, there's a suplex, they find the Starkers, but how much time can Starkers buy? The bullet time comes through, but it finds no one. Wildstar's with a flag and drag to safety, and it's just going to be the one pick for SRG Hydra. And look at the minions, they're pushing through in the mid lane already. Gunkus is in the side lane, and that was a 4v5 fight. Well, it was actually a 4v1, then it was, let's run away as quickly as we can. Hydra now look for the Baron, and Esports Harte, what do they do? Do they contest Baron? Do they defend their base? It looks like it's going to be the latter, as Hydra will pick up the second Baron of the game with ease. But the focus onto Gunkus will be able to use the World Ender to get out, as the Glacial Fissure will not be able to find its mark.
Well, I can tell you exactly what SRG, what Esports Harte were thinking. And that's the following, alright, boys? We do not win a 5v5. Google's Maximus is splitting his side lane. Let's hard force this 5v4 right now. At least that's what they were saying in this com. And then Starkers flashes in way in front of his team and he just gets solo killed. And then they can't win it anymore as a 4v4.
So, 33 minutes in at 19 kills to 10. Now, that Rabadon's death cap, that very important point, we're getting closer and closer to it. But Tricos still needs another 1.4k goal to be able to complete it. Gunkus is huge. He's pretty much full build, just needs to complete that Sterex gauge. And he's pretty much going to be 1v9ing. Meanwhile, Starkos is only on 2 items. Block has completed that rune, and so that's a big power spike for the side of Hydra. And now we're going to be seeing the fight around the next Mountain Drake. This could be the soul for Esports Harte, whereas Hydra would be their third Drake of the game.
Yeah.
Oh, but look
I
at Gunkus
definitely-
Maximus. He's just pushing mid. Esports
Yeah,
Harte, they
he's
have to
just
make a
going for the
decision.
Yeah,
And,
Esports Harte is like, we get this soul Drake. We get
yeah,
this
but
soul. Let's take
Hydra
it.
are just going to delay the backs. Even if they get the Drake, is not going to work out. Starkos takes a lot of damage. Moonlight Vigil comes through. The inhibitor has been destroyed. Flash forward. Triggers gets a lockdown. That's a kill for Wildstars. That's going to be the bullet time, but it does nothing. Moko getting focused down by the Drake. Chang picks up the kill. No one can back. There is the back coming through from Starkos. It will come through, but not in time. Gunkus is ending. He is the hero that Hydra needed, and he steps up in a huge fashion to pick up game 1 of the night.
Yeah, and you have to think what went wrong for Esports Harte right there. It definitely felt like it collapsed in their in this. They were getting so desperate.
Yeah, and well, I remember coming into this game. It's funny, I remember stuff that doesn't usually happen, but it was only an hour ago, so hey ho. And I was talking Gunkus. He's the question mark for Hydra. Can he perform? Will he get beaten up? Well, he definitely performed in this game, and if anything, probably the MVP for game 1 anyway goes his way. And I'm interested to see how Esports Harte will look to deal with this monster in the top lane for games 2 and potentially game 3.
Yeah, Misfortune actually did most damage of this of the game. Oh, interesting. We'll have to see indeed how the drafts are going to change, because obviously they're going to change sides right here, and I guess
Yeah.
we're going for a short break.
Yeah, we will be heading into a short break. We'll be right back though with game 2 of the night between Esports Harte and SRG Hydra. Stay tuned.
again. You want a dose of this? Right now it's 88. I'm a goddess with a blaze. 소리처럼 내 이름 잊지 못하게. Loud, 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 loud. I could take you to the top. 절대 멈추지 못해. 내가 끝내주는 bag, yeah, yeah, yeah. And when I start to talk like that, oh, you know how to react. I'm a picture perfect face with the wild in my veins. You can hear it in my growl, 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 growl. So keep your eyes on me now. 무엇을 보든 좋아할 거야. 다 할 수 없는 rebel. 나와 되길 원한 늘 확신해. We got it all in our hands now. So can you handle what we're all about? We're so tough. Let's get it, show you out. Can you feel the rush now? Ain't nobody bringing us down, 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 down. They could try, but we gonna wear the crown. You could go another round, 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 round. Wish you luck, but you're not bringing us down. We go hard, till we get it, we go hard. We so in it, we pop stars. Only winning, winning now. Ain't nobody bringing us down, 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 down. You ready for this?
Let's go.
See, 언제든지 내 모습 매직 단 한 번에 내가 잡아 절대 기죽지 않지. 펴펴 네가 뭘 알아. 견딜 수 없어 원해도 원하는 게 얼굴에 보여. I'm troubling you running it. I'm so cold. When I move that way, you gon' be so blown. I'm the realest in the game. Said I'm on fire with the blade. You're about to hit my name, ringing in your head like whoa. So keep your eyes on me now. 무엇을 보든 좋아할 거야. We so tough. Let's get it, show you out. Can you feel the rush now? Ain't nobody bringing us down, 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 down. They could try, but we gonna wear the crown. You could go another round, 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 round. Wish you luck, but you're not bringing us down. We go hard, till we get it, we go hard. We so in it, we pop stars. Only winning, winning now. Ain't nobody bringing us down, 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 down. 난 멈추지 않아. We go hard. We pop stars. Ain't nobody bringing us.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back for game 2 of the night. Esports Harte against SRG Hydra. Meat Squeeze, you wanted to know interesting stats. I gave you some interesting stats in game 1, but back to the main stat, which is the fact that Hydra, every single one of their series so far this split has been 3 games long. Esports Harte, on the other hand, all of their series have been 2 games long, either a 2-0 or a 0-2. That's what being 2 games long tends to mean. And now we're going to find out which one of those stats comes to a close. Because Hydra picked up game 1 in a fairly confident fashion. And I think Esports Harte, they're not looking that far behind. And they definitely can challenge Hydra here in game 2.
Dekeba, you are the guy of the interesting facts, but I actually also have a quite interesting fact for you.
Oh.
Did you know that every best of 3 game tends to be 2 games or 3 games?
Not if it gets FF'd. There you go. Outplayed. Well, what if the last game is a draw, Meat Squeeze?
I'm not gonna be it.
I would love, you know what I would love to see? I would love to see, both teams one time, they get onto the Rift and they're like, you know what? We're just not going to leave base. I wonder whose minions would end the game first, because one team has to win the game, but would they? Would all the minions just kill each other? Because eventually the minions are going to start hitting the turret, so one team has to win. I think when I'm very bored, instead of watching paint dry, I'm going to watch a custom game of that happening.
I mean, have fun. Let me know what you
will do.
find out.
Yeah.
As we get into Champions League right here, in terms of bans, we expect to get this ceiling ban again. Aatrox most likely from the side of Esports Harte gonna catch a ban as well. As they, for now, it's nothing special.
So far the bans have been exactly the same as game one. The Sejuani and the Zac. I'm not sure if the Furora got banned last time
I
out,
believe the
but
Fiora is a new ban.
okay. We talked about that Echo Flex pick that Hydra have available to them. They can play that in the mid lane, play that in the jungle. Good to see that getting taken away. The Ornn still needs to get banned because Starkos will 100% play that. Sorry, Starkos is over on red side. They need to ban it away because Gunkus will probably pick it up. Once again, the Leona is the final ban for the side of Esports Harte. For the yeah,
And there is the Ornn.
yeah. So
So it's
everything making sense so far.
yeah, definitely. And we're gonna see if it's gonna be first pick Aatrox, but I'm thinking it's gonna be Felia's first pick.
And we did see that Aphelios getting picked up last time. It got paired with a Nautilus for some reason over a Braum. It worked out in the end, but I would like to see, you know, the Aphelios Braum combo coming in the center, getting locked in for the side of Hydra. Maybe we're going to be seeing the fasting center coming in with the Tahm Kench to pair alongside it.
Well, I actually checked the history from Blokke, and I found out that he doesn't play the fasting Senna. He just plays regular Senna.
I mean, does
As
anyone play fasting center in solo queue though?
I do, if she's
No,
not banned.
fair enough.
I
You
definitely
have
feel like
proved
she's
me
just a
wrong.
lot stronger with the fasting style. You just have to explain as support how it works.
Yeah. Well, with the MF and Nautilus getting locked in up by Esports Harte, the Tahm Kench does make sense into that composition. Take the center out of the firing range of that bullet time. But Wildsars looks at that Jarvan, picks up the Tahm Kench in the end, and maybe now the Jarvan will come through. And indeed it will. And we saw Wildsars on that J4 in game one, and it went alright. Nothing too flashy, but it was a solid pick.
Yeah, I guess it did what it had to do. It gave some pressure early game. It got some early gang stuff, and in the later stage of the game, it managed to engage with his ultimate. Hmm,
I
just
actually
like
would have
that.
liked to see from the side of Esports Harte going for that Zillion flex pick because Zillion is good into Tahm Kench, and worst case scenario, you give it to Trikos depending on the matchup. However, the Cassiopeia is locked in by the side of Esports Harte, and Cassiopeia a very strong patch right now in uh, sorry, Cassiopeia is a very strong pick right now in patch 10.5.
I was like, very strong patch from that. Oh yeah, I'll patch it on my leather jacket real quick. As they will ban Oriana, denying that Oriana Jarvan combo that did a lot of damage in the last game.
And don't
And
forget, depending on what gets picked up by the side of Hydra here, that Cassiopeia could go into the top lane. I don't really think it's in Starkos' champion pool, but depending on the matchup, Starkos might be willing to play, or maybe Starkos will just flex mid and let Trikos play the Cassiopeia top lane.
I don't believe it's in Stark's champion really, so it's most likely going mid. And
Maybe we'll see the set again. The Kled is open for Starkos, and he is a decent Kled player. Maybe that will come through.
but with the Zoe ban as well, I'm almost 100% sure this Cassio is going into mid lane. As Cartus is getting banned, just a strong jungler at the moment. Can gank all lanes at once.
And it is something that Moncomb can play fairly well. The Elise is available too, and maybe some of that early game aggression from a jungler could pair well with the MF, but no, the Trundle does get locked in, and Trundle's a bit of an interesting pick for me because, sure, I understand why it's strong in solo queue, but it just doesn't seem to have that presence in a team environment. It doesn't have that massive CC or the massive tankiness, I feel.
Yeah, I'm not really seeing how it's gonna pair up with the rest of the team that they've drafted so far.
Well, this time it's going to be Chang who plays on the Syndra. We saw Trikos on the Syndra in game one. This time Chang will look to show his opposing mid laner how it's done on the Void champion. And now the final pick for the side of Hydra, which will be in the top lane unless we see some weird flexing coming through. And to be honest, I'm thinking that we might be seeing the set possibly coming out. Maybe even that Mordekaiser.
with
Ooh, Vladimir.
Vladimir. Well, in
Uh,
terms
is
of
it?
plays, though, it's quite equal to the to an what's it called, Aatrox.
Yeah. And I do like going over for Vlad over a tank because it just means that Kain doesn't have anyone that he can steal those massive tanky stats from. In fact, his best bet is probably to ult onto Wildstars, which in itself isn't great. And the only real tanks for both teams are the supports. I'm interested to see whether Wildstars, whether he's going to go for the tank Jarvan build or more of the damage-oriented build.
Well, I definitely think he should go for the tank build because they have enough damage, especially in the late game with the comp they have drafted so far. So he might choose to get early the damage jungle item and then build tank for the rest. But I would really like to see tank Jarvan coming in from the side of Wildstars.
The Irelia picked up by Starkos was at the final pick. Irelia into Vladimir, how do we really see that matchup going?
Well, it depends if we choose to take Ignite or TP, and I think that's definitely gonna tell us a lot on how Stargast is planning to play this lane. But as the ready, you can definitely choose when you're going for these trades because you have these gap closes, and if you play it right, if you play it around the Q stack from a Vladimir, you should definitely be able to win these early trades in as long as you do them frequently enough.
Right, oh. Once again, though, the Syndra in the mid lane into the Cassiopeia. Let's see if Chang can do to Esports Harte what Tricos did to Hydra in game one, which was just shove in as the Syndra and then rotate with your jungle, try to find some picks, and I don't think we're gonna be seeing the rotations coming through to the bottom side. I think it's probably gonna be top side onto Starkos, try to get some early kills onto this Vladimir. Or
As
Chang himself.
actually, I just noticed that Blockade is gonna play the Tom Kench and Give Me
Mm.
Second Blue will be on the Senna. This is
Blocker staying true to being the ADC. He's like, I'm the ADC. Sure, we're going
I'm
fasting
fine.
center, but I get the CS. That's what being the ADC really is about. It's not about being the carry for your team. It's about being able to right click the minion.
Yeah, it's definitely something I didn't expect. I would have definitely think it would have been the other way around, and we'll have to see if Give Me Second Blue can position himself like a true ADC can, and if Blockade can peel for ADC the way he wants to be peeled when he plays it. So
He's just gonna play Tom Kenton whenever Give Me Second Blue gets focused. He's gonna be like, no, I'm the ADC. I'm not saving you.
yeah,
Goodbye.
peel me, peel me. How he's gonna scream? He's like, oh wait, I need to peel you.
But I want to talk about win conditions for both teams because when you look at Hydra, you've got a lot, and I mean a lot of scaling. You've got the Vladimir, you've got the Syndra, and you've got the Senna. They all scale reasonably well, especially the Vladimir and Senna. Well, Senna infinitely stacks. When you look over to Esports Harte, you've got the Cassiopeia that scales, and that's it. Sure, it really is strong, but she's not a monster late game, and kind of falls off as a misfortune.
Yeah, I think the way this game is going to play out is definitely going to be depending who's going to win the side lane. That's going to be Vladimir against Cassiopeia, I believe,
That's reasonable.
because I don't think Syndra wants to sit alone in the side lane.
No. I,
And
I
I
think
don't.
going I think going off that point is going to be quite interesting because Esports Harte probably want to go for that 1-3-1 because as you mentioned, Chang doesn't want to be in the side lanes as a Syndra. He wants to be with the team and maybe Harte can abuse it and pull off the double split push.
Yeah, but when you go for this double split, but you have a misfortune rule. If she gets catched and she doesn't have a flash, she will most likely die. And on the other side, you have a top catch, they can get freaky with it with his ultimate, go across map, and you have a Jarvan with quite a strong engage. And well, if QE from Cinder hits you when you're misfortune, you're quite dead.
Most certainly so, and I'll have to make sure to stay out of that range and just be able to poke from afar. So we get into game, and instantaneously we have one of those beautiful things called a pause.
I love it. And and that was the pause already. So now are we gonna see level 1
Oh, there we go again. Also,
Because-
we've got confirmation from the coach of Hydra herself saying that the reason why a block is on the Tahm Kench is because apparently he's not ready to ward. And warding is the most important part of being a support. People think to be a support you've got to be able to peel and all of that stuff, but the real heroes is on that warding.
that's
And
a very good argument not to be on not to play play center. Really, I guess I will have to look in the warding as well, because that's one thing I forget when I'm playing fasting center. And there's an interesting fact I have for you, SG. You got me started.
Ooh.
I know for a fact that Stargos doesn't invade level 1.
Oh, okay.
He only invades with his team to get vision.
Oh,
That's the
juicy.
only reason why he ever would invade if it was so.
Oh, Malcolm. He was doing the dance, and he got caught out by a Dark Sphere. Chang spoiling the fun, and Malcolm says, "Well, here's a ward. I'm off." Chang. Must be so fun in parties.
This is something else interesting, but we got the confirmation blocking didn't want to ward, but he actually got a relic shield on some Kench, and I feel like they haven't really
They
played the
don't.
fasting
Oh,
center.
they don't know how fasting center works. That's tilting. Anyway, Starkos is actually going mid, and it's going to be Trikos going top. See, I told you, Meat Squeeze, that trick. Because why was I going to say Tristana? That Cassiopeia was a potential flex pick, and Trikos does take it top lane. Switch them around. So it's now an Aurelia. Yeah, it's now the Aurelia into the Syndra.
I guess this is a matchup that favors both of them more. I feel like the Casio gets a lot freer lane against the Vladimir, and for Iridia shouldn't really be a lot of difference.
I think it's what the folks would refer to as a skill matchup.
A skill matchup. Well, we can see if Stars can pull it off.
Yeah,
His skills did
indeed.
disappoint me a bit last game, so.
And I remember the flawless duet misses. Scatter of the week does land, and Starkos he's just getting bullied out. And I remember when we casted on him last game, he was messaging me. He was like, "Milky, why aren't you talking about my amazing plays?" And well, I mean, Starkos, just look at what you did in game 1. He's gonna have some angry words for me after this game. But anyway, oh no, Flag and Drag Starkos with the flash will be able to get out, but Muncomb in the top lane not going to be able to find the kill. So both the junglers are being proactive, which is great to see early on, but neither of them being able to find that kill. But what I do like about Starkos being in the mid lane is that if Muncomb does look mid side, I feel that it's better to get an Aurelia a kill early on than it is to get a Cassiopeia that kill early on.
Yeah, I definitely feel like Aurelia can do a lot more with early game. Although I want to remind you of last week where we had a Casio 1v9 one game.
Do you really expect me to remember something from a week ago, Meat Squeeze?
Yeah.
Oh.
I do.
Well, here's another interesting stat for you. Oh, never mind. Well, in the bot lane, the poke is coming through, and give me second blue on this fasting center. I don't know how much of a fasting center it is when you're playing alongside a support who picked up Relic Shield. So,
Oh, that
oh,
was a
flash
nice
out
play.
by Chang and Moncom. That's both mid laners with their flashes gone. See, now I have a reason why Block might have picked up that Relic Shield. Oh, never mind. A flash out from Gimme Second Blue. The Ignite is ticking as well. And it's just going to be a good trade by Esports Harte, who utilized the fact that that block has disappeared for a little bit to try to establish some vision. And they just go all in on Give Me Second Blue.
Yeah, but you were saying something about this double support item bot lane.
Yeah, so Block can still go for CS. The issue with it, if I'm not mistaken, is that you get reduced gold income after you take a certain amount of minions. I'm not sure if that's just on the spell thieves, but
Yeah, no, it's on all
what?
of the support
Yeah.
items. Yeah.
So that's why it's bad. But on the plus side, it does mean that Block gives over extra gold onto Give Me Second Blue. And whether that outweighs the negative of Block now not being able to get as much gold from minions, I don't know.
Yeah, but the reason he didn't play the Senna was because he doesn't want to ward, and then going for a support item, you could have just as well played the Senna, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
But let's just see how this goes. And for that, I'm looking for Chang and Wild Stars to be using that Syndra J4 duo roam potentially to this bot lane, especially if Kain and Dalgas continue to look aggressive.
Yeah, and this mid lane we definitely expect to be a lot more favorable for Stargers as soon as he get his what's it called, Titanic Hydras, not that it, and
Yeah.
Trinity Force.
Triforce first, but he might go Tiamat a little bit earlier on to
Tiamat, that's the one.
get the push
Tiamat,
in.
that's the one I was looking for. Just for the extra wave clear, usually.
Oh, I'm sorry, Beat Squeeze. I apologize to all our viewers now, but oh, here we go. The pillar will land into the Vanguard's edge, and there comes the damage. Starkos picks up first of blood for Esports Harte.
And why were you
So, okay,
apologizing?
well, because it's time for another one of, okay, no, this is a Milky Cereal pun. I will not contaminate my good name with stats for a pun that is this amazing. Which would be to say, Esports Harte, or more specifically Starkos, are looking for the Hydra against SRG Hydra. I'm sorry, it had to be done. It had to be done. I'm just doing God's work here.
I'm doing gospel.
See,
But I
I
can't
can just
disagree
see,
with you.
I can just see everyone in the Twitch chat going, "Oh my god!" But don't lie, you all enjoyed it.
For now, Stargos is choosing the safe way, and that's a lot of magic resistance.
Yeah,
And
and
it,
I
it
like that.
wouldn't surprise me if he goes with Sand first item, actually.
I mean, it would surprise me if he doesn't go with Zen because I don't know what else a Negatron cloak builds into that Starkos could build as in the mid top lane. Pardon me. Gunga's taking a lot of damage from Trikos, who, as soon as he just gets a couple of those twin fangs off, just runs at Gunkas.
Well, it doesn't really run when you have no legs, but
Oh, God.
so far it's quite a quiet early game. No real CS difference in any lane, really. And there is neither team has showed real intention of getting the first Drake either. So
We saw
I guess
Scattergory
both
coming through
teams.
in the mid lane.
Yeah.
But yeah, both teams will have to look for that Cloud Drake at some point, and probably a first kill in this bot lane could start up the Drake vision set up at least as Gunker steps forward to avoid going into the miasma. But Starkos is on. He is awake. Can the flawless duet land? No, the Sanguine Pool buys a time. Vanguard's Edge will find it. Mark Moncombe is on the chase. Starkos, a good
Oof.
flash. Oh, Starkos. And then you wonder why we meme you on stream.
And this is the second time he messed up the flash. And this is the call for Wildstar to get this Drake as they spot Moncombe on top lane. And they will just trade Rift Health for the first Drake.
Yeah, they will, and I think that's a good trade by the side of Esports Harte. And if they had got the kill as well, that would have been absolutely massive, because it means Starkos would have been able to be 2-0, just more gold. But Starkos, I think he was actually waiting so that Moncombe could get the assist, because he had stopped auto-attacking for like a split second. And I'm sure he insanely regrets that right now.
Well, if it was so, I'm sure he does. Yes.
But the Rift Herald has been picked up. The first Drake has been picked up by the side of Hydra. And let's see how much of an impact that Rift Herald can give Esports Harte, and where they'll actually look to drop it, potentially in this top side, if Moncombe can find a successful gank onto Gunkus Maximus here. Oh, the pillar with the displacement, but Gunkus just goes into the Sanguine Pool. And maybe now is the time to drop down Shelly.
Yes, it's looking like they're going to use Shelly, or they're
Yeah.
just pushing in the wave. Huh?
Meanwhile, in the bot lane, Kind just has not been able to find a significant advantage over Block. And this is just fantastic news for the Hydra bot lane.
Yeah, it is, and it's just hard to engage on top of this Senatum Cage because.
Oh, here comes Starkos. This is the gank in the top lane. The full out dive. The pillar comes through. Wildstars is here. Flag and drag will not actually connect. Now Starkos in the midst of everything, but he just gets taken down. Gunkus Maximus with the healing as the Devour comes through in the bot lane. Give me second blue trying to heal up Block, but the Ignite ticks it down and Block will be able to survive. Starkos falls. Moncombe falls in the top lane as well, and the Rift Herald. We thought it was a blessing for Esports Harte, but it just turns out to be a curse.
Yeah, they forced it to dive a little bit hard, and they forgot about Senna's global ultimate. As it was also quite nice played from Gunka, staying alive there. Good use of.
Oh, flag and drag. Now they look for Tricos. He's got no way out of this, and the miasma is just denied by the stopwatch. Another killer going over to Hydra.
Yeah, they just showing how to execute a nice dive.
Sarkos looking aggressive. Vanguard's edge, but a flash away from Chang.
And we see Senna going for the tier right now after she built 2 long swords.
Yep.
This interesting to me. Usually, when I play the fasting Senna, I just skip the Muramana and get 3 lethality items.
Yeah, I think that's how you're supposed to do it, but we already discussed that what Hydra don't actually know how to play Fasting Sun, and that Block has gone for the Relic Shield.
Oh, you sold it.
To be fair,
he sold it. He sold
yeah,
the Relic
because he's
Shield.
fully stacked it, that's why, and he's getting less gold from it. So the reason why potentially Give Me Second Blue has gone for the Mana Immune is, oh wait, I'll hold that thought. TB coming in, a curse of the Black Mist and Cataclysm onto Dalgas, flash away from Akain, and that's the kill going over onto Chang as the Unleashed Power will find some damage onto Kaya, but not quite enough as Trico starting to look aggressive in the top lane. The Twin Fangs are getting spammed. Will not be able to find anything as the bullet time just whittles her through the minion wave. Block will just eat up Give Me Second Blue to take him out of that bullet damage.
Yeah, just a quick, easy minion wave clear there to get a nice spec, and Keen will get this Essence Reaver, most likely.
Gunkus is playing very aggressive, and Tricos respects the damage that the Hemo Plague could pull out if it was used. But going back to this bot lane, potentially why Give Me Second Blue has gone for the tier build is because of that Relic Shield. It does mean that he gets a slightly more gold, so potentially he thinks that because of that extra gold income, that extra 1,000 gold or so that he gets from the relic shield, maybe, you know, that kind of enables him to pick up this tier for free, essentially.
Yeah, maybe, but look, right now she finished Dirk, and when you go for this tier build, you need to get it as soon as possible so you can get it fully stacked as soon as possible. And right now,
Yeah.
she bought an 1100 item that could have just been.
Wait, no. Wait, say that again. 'Cause that feels weird
She,
to me.
she bought the serrated Dirk while she could have got the pickaxe and be one step closer to completing a Mirror Mana.
Okay, but on the counter side, does it matter that much to complete your Muramana? Because surely your Muramana is only that effective once you've got your tier fully stacked, which is going to take another 10 minutes or so.
It helps stacking your tier a lot faster because she has quite a lot a long cooldowns on the three abilities.
That's
So
fair.
being able to auto attack and stack it with that just
Okay,
makes
but
it go
then
fast.
my counterpoint is sure you get cooldown reduction, but you also get cooldown reduction from your lethality items. But we'll go into that in a second because Cataclysm locks down both the members of the bot lane. The Dawning Shadow comes through. Wildstars really get taken down, knowing what he survives on a sliver of HP. But here comes the rest of the Esports Harte. Flag and drag from Wildstars, and it's just going to be a 2v2. Now TB could potentially turn it around. The flash forward, the Devour. Where are you going, Moncomb? Straight back to the base as that's the 7th kill going over to the side of Hydra. Vanguard's Edge misses Chang, and now Chang can look to dish out some damage onto Starkos as the Force of Will comes through, and Starkos forced to run, and now the Infernal Drake will most likely go the way of Hydra.
Yeah, and we talked about this earlier. We see Wildstar going for the offensive jungle item. But after that, right now, I'm guessing he's gonna get what's it called? The Stone Plate?
Yeah,
Is that Stone
seems
Plate?
for who? For who? Sorry.
For Wildstar?
No, he's going for Crystalline Bracer. That it builds into.
Something
I have no
tanky at
idea.
least, that's for sure.
Yes. Oh, he could be going Warmog's Armor first item, potentially, or it could even be a Spirit Visage he's building into. Wait, no, not Spirit Visage, never mind. Wow,
Alright.
that ult from block by wow, so amazing, so amazing.
Man, it's
Crystalline
twice
Bracer,
as much quicker in base in
I
lane.
don't
Let's
know.
go.
Bracer builds into Redemption, but hey ho. Now, Esports Harte, they lost the Infernal Drake, and once again, they're going to try to trade one of those first two Drakes for a Herald. But here comes the rest of the team. The instant Devour onto Give Me Second Blue denies the pillar as well. Out comes the bullet time, but Dalgas getting burned down will pop the stopwatch to buy some time, but he'll just fall instantly after. Gunkers picks up the kill as Shelly tries to reset and will be successful in doing so. Moncomb with a flash out of the scatter of the week. Gunkers on the chase. The Blast Cone will take Mr. Moncomb out to safety. Now, Starkos looking aggressive. Doesn't have the Vanguard's Edge for a little bit longer, as the Last Embrace will not be able to find his mark. The Tongue Lash will. Moncomb getting slowed down. Flash forward. Gunkers looks to find the kill. Will he be able to do so? And the pool forward. One more Q. That's Gunkers on a killing spree. 3-0, and the Rift Herald secured as well for Hydra.
Yeah, so the ID from Esports Harte here was good, but I think they realized it a bit too late, and they were also a bit too late on the reaction to taking this Herald. As you could see, SRG Highland being back on the map quick enough to contest it.
Okay. Now, the pickaxe has been picked up, but... Ha! That's funny. The pickaxe has been picked up by Give Me Second Blue. I'm sorry, but...
I'm gonna do serious now.
Wait, hang on. I said I'd do a serious cast, but you can meme in a serious cast. That's part of being serious. But Gunkers gets run down. Tides of Blood, that's a lot of damage, and that's Gunkers finding the kill. The turnaround onto the Snake. And I guess that confirms the age-long debate. Who wins, Vampire or Snake? Vampire.
Well, just only because Tragos was a millisecond too late on his ultimate right there. Otherwise, he would have definitely killed Gunkers right there.
Yeah, potentially so. He had the flash available, but Gunkers, he didn't even have the Hema Plague available for that. He just melted Tricos. He was like, okay, now I want to do damage. Presses E, presses W, and he's like, bye. That's what Spellbinder does. He hasn't even completed the oh my god, the Hextech Protobell,
Yeah, but what's he
and
gonna
he's going
do?
for that he can go dashy.
Yeah, but then you have the snake with anti-dashy.
Oh, does anti dashy stop the dashy from the Hextech dashy?
Yes.
No. But I mean, he's got to build that at some point, right? I mean, he's built
Yeah,
the components for it.
he has a few components for it, I believe, but it's
He's
hard. He
got.
has a bit of everything,
Actually,
it
I don't
seems.
understand what he's building. He's like building cooldown reduction. As here we go again in the top lane, Gunkers. He heals up, goes back in, picks up the kill, and quite literally, Gunkers is unstoppable right now.
Yeah, and you're gonna think. I think we scared Tricos to not building Morel Omicron, but
I
into
think
this
now's where
team
you want to build it.
yes, exactly. Into this team go with a Senna, all the healing and the Vladimir. This is the time for you to shine.
Okay, my other question is, why has Tricos gone for the Rylai's over the Leandri's Torment?
Um, to
I mean, is he that scared of Gunkers running him down with Phase Rush? He's like, no, I will slow you. Oh, Moncomb looking aggressive. Vanguard's edge finds one, but it does not find more. Starkos looking to go in. Dredgeline will land. Out comes the Dawning Shadow, but it does nothing at all as Starkos picks up the kill regardless. However, we do have a Drake spawning in 10 seconds at time. And we're seeing Chang and Wildstar setting up for that. And I don't think Esports Harte will be able to contest this one.
and we were wondering what Gunkus was building. The main block. As
building.
Milky is turning into a robot. We see some action going on with the Cataclysm. Wildstar being chased down. As SRG Hydra were committed to a fight with in a 3vs5 or maybe 2vs5, and they go top lane in a turret in exchange, and I definitely think this trade was favorable for Esports Harte as they're moving for the Baron. Again, controller, and they're going to look for a pick here. As Dreadline just misses, and give me a second, blue flashes out, but they might get a catch on Blocky right here. As this should be no problem. It's just a fish. And in the meantime, SRG Hydra got control back over the Baron Pit, and Esports Harte are looking to get a quick reset in. And well, unfortunately for everyone else, without interesting facts right here, so we got the Ocean Drake spawning in 3.5 minutes here, and Misfortune is starting to build her Infinity Edge, and as soon as that's definitely one of the big power spikes. And as we discussed, Jarvan is going for this tank Jarvan as we wished, as he did get a Warmox armor as second item. And the Trinity Force is also completed on the side of Stargos here. He's going to be a very strong split pusher. And at the moment, it's just the team's farming and waiting for the enemy to do something. I have to feel like with a slight, almost 5k gold lead for the side of SG Hydra, they're going to take entire control of the Baron Pit, and they're setting up a trap.
Oh, hello there, Meat Squeeze. I have returned.
Hello there, good to have you back.
Hello. How's it going? What have I missed?
Nothing much really. Some people died. SRG Hydra took a very
Oh.
bad fight around Drake, and they lost a lot of lead. But it's they still have a big enough lead as they're taking Baron right now.
Well, now we have the Baron fight. The flawless duet will land the miasma on to our block, as block will be able to get out, but he takes a lot of damage, and the Baron start has been delayed. The Infernal Drake is on the side of Hydra right now, and they look to start the Baron once again. They're happy to play. There's a little game around the Baron. Baron now down to 6,000 HP, and Esport Harte look for the contestant once again. They're coming in at 5 members strong, but Malcolm is a little bit far behind, and who is a focus here for Harte? Well, the tongue lash, flag and drag, cataclysm. Chang has already found the kill, and Wildstars will get taken down, but it's now a 4v3. Trickles finds the kill onto Wildstars in the process. Moncomb gets slowed. Moncomb is going to get stunned, and he will get devoured most likely. No, the devour comes on to give me second blues, now running. Chang getting burnt down. Trickles with the 1v9. Scatter of the week buys some time. As in comes Gunkers, finds the kill onto Moncomb. Trickles can't step forward. Flash forward. He finds the double. Now he can look for Trickles as well. Block the Lancer CC. And Trickles gets taken down. That was big. Gunkers with the triple. He finds the ace. 5 kills for 3 in favor of Hydra. And now they push up forward in the mid lane. It's only Dalgas left to defend. But Gankus is Gankus? Gunkers is absolutely huge. And he really is a Maximus. No Gunkers Minimus this week for the side of SRG Hydra.
Yeah, this fight was very close. That was until the Vladimir joined in, and they absolutely deleted all these players. And the side of SRG Hard, they have to think they need to look for a fight where either Gunkus Maximus isn't around, or at least 2 other people aren't around of the side of SG Hydra in order to win it.
Yeah.
Because if it was a 4v4, I'm quite positive that Esport Harte would win the fight.
Yeah. The Banshee's Veil has been completed by Tricos. Get some lifesteal, dude! Come on! Sorry, Grievous Wounds, you know what I mean.
Yes.
The steal does not come in for the side of Hydra. Esports Harte are able to find their second Drake of the game. Out comes the bullet time, but Gunkers finds the kill. He goes golden. He buys a time. He finds the Tricos. Now we can look for Dalagas. Dalagas is already down, and that is going to be 3 kills for 1. Hydra once again come out on top. The Abyssal Voyager to the mid lane, and now the pusher forward for Hydra.
The push up forward for Hydra is coming in, and they're gonna take this inheritor, and they might even look to end the game here, as there's just only 2 people left, and there's at least 10 seconds death timers for the side of Esports Harte.
Well, here we go. 1 Nexus turret remaining. We were talking about how before all of Hydra's games went to game 3, and Esports Harte, they either win big or they lose big, and it looks like it's going to be staying. The stats will stay on the side of Esports Harte. Maybe as SRG Hydra will back off for now. Flawless Duet will not find its market, and Hydra will have to wait a little bit longer. The Nexus is open. They've dropped down a cheeky little ward at the base. Chang and Gunkers, do it. Go on, double TP right now. Go for it.
They're
Come
gonna
on.
do it. They're
Just
gonna
do it.
do it. As we were talking about grieving wands, and maybe Tricos doesn't have it, but Stargos and Keen definitely have it right now, and maybe they will just need one more team fight, and they can turn it around, because these grievous wands are definitely.
I know Hydra pretty much have this game in the bag. They have the scaling, they have everything, but I want to see the double TP to end the game. Just kind of bait out a fight, double TP. There is no way that Esports Harte can stop the double TP
They just placed
into
the
the base.
ward and cleared it. They
No! There's another ward at the base.
There's another
Yes.
one. There's another one.
We can
They
still
smelled,
we
they
can
smelled
still see it.
something about it. They smelled something isn't right here. Something isn't right.
Yeah.
We have to see
Well,
if they still think something isn't right here.
I mean, that's a 3 item Gunkers
Maybe they're
right
going
now.
for Tom. Look at Tom Kench right here. I think he's
Wait,
gonna
hang
ult
on.
into the base.
Gunkers sold his Kindle gem because he didn't want the proto belt. So now he's looking at what I believe. I don't know what that builds into.
Look at Block and Gunkers. They're gonna ult into the base.
Oh,
They're,
that's
they're going for it.
cheeky.
They're going for it.
And they can drop down the
They're
ward for
doing
the
it.
double
They're
TP as
doing
well.
it.
Are they going to drop down the ward? No, it's just a two-man effort right now. The base is already down to half HP. Dawning Shadow on top. It's going to be Hydra with their first 2-0 of Serenity Gaming Division 1 Springer Split. And what a way to end it.
Did they just expect it twice in a row? Because last game it also was a bit of a backdoor, wasn't it?
Oh, yes, that is true. Nice. Hydra, the backdoor
Nice.
kings.
They know they got. They have to take this. This their nickname from now on.
Wow. I mean, I'm still going to put the question mark on Trico's why he's built a Banshee's Veil and a Rylai's before either getting Leandri's Torment or Morello against a Senna, Tom Kench, and Vladimir.
I guess there's only one person that can answer this question to you, and that's Tricos himself.
Tricos himself. Right, let me just drag Tricos in here for an interview now.
Yeah, let's get him. Let's get a pro players interview going on, right?
I'm sorry, I have now lost respect for Tricos after not building anti-heal. But no, like, really well played by Hydra. I'm still questioning how they played the Fasting Senna build.
Definitely.
But it worked out in the end. And that's all that matters. So, Hydra are now 2-2 in the standings, whereas Esports Harte are now 2-3 in the standings. So they're both looking at around that kind of mid-place spot in the tables, and around a Higa Imod, Kraken, and
Yeah, I
Virgo
looked
for
this
that
up
fourth
actually,
place.
and Hydra is fifth right now, and tied with
Yes.
Atlanta Esports. Although Atlanta has one extra win over them in terms of or one loss less. Yes.
Yep.
And Esports Harte is sixth still.
Yeah.
Well, the one from
And of course, and they've played
tied.
their extra game that they have in hand as well. So things most certainly are looking interesting. But Meat Squeeze, any final words before we wrap things up here?
Well, I think the MVP of this game is quite clear for both of us, and I think that's going to be Gunkus Maximus with the backdoor twice in a row.
Oh
Actually.
yes. Yeah, Gunker's played fantastically. I had so many doubts coming into this series about him, but he's just proven me wrong completely, and he looks like the centerpiece of Hydra right now. Fantastically played by him and all the members of Hydra, and GG to both teams.
Yes.
But sorry, go on.
No, that was it. So.
Well, thank you to everyone for tuning in. This was for these teams, it was day 3 and day 4 for Esports Harte and Hydra. Hydra picking up the 2-0 clean sweep. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow at 7 p.m. CET as a Kraken protecting take on the Lucky Vikings. You've got your main man, Katka. He's going to be casting that alongside Cub, so make sure to tune in for that. And don't forget to also follow Serenity Gaming on Twitter and to follow them here on Twitch as well. Stay tilt-proof on the Rift, guys, and we'll see you next time. Good night.
Good night.